It's Thursday, February 11th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network, bringing you the latest headlines. And later today, we'll take a look at the front pages of our HAN Network papers this week. Rob Adams, of course, joins us with sports and a look at the forecast, and Donald Ang takes a look back on this day in history. And later in the show, we have some ideas and suggestions for your Valentine's Day weekend, so to be sure to check that out later coming up. But first, getting on to some of today's news. The phone threats that were made to 5 schools across the state Tuesday came within minutes of each other, were delivered in disguised voices, and originated from the same phone number, according to law enforcement officials. Hearst, Connecticut media reports that a trend of computer-generated hoax phone calls involving high-tech identity disguising tools has been sweeping the nation. Though officials said there is not yet any indication of a connection to the Stamford High School incident, federal agents have been called in to help investigate the spate of prank phone calls that sent well-armed police to schools statewide. A phone threat that led to the evacuation of Stamford Academy Charter School on Wednesday, however, did not follow that same pattern. Swatting is the practice of falsely reporting a crime just to provoke massive police responses, and it's become prevalent enough nationwide to draw condemnation from the FBI. And the Weston Fire Department and EMS responded to a one-car rollover crash yesterday morning on Broad Street in Weston. According to the Forum, one person was transported to the hospital for evaluation, and at the time, Broad Street was closed during the incident. And in some other news today, after listening to the heart-wrenching stories from residents, community volunteers, and addiction advocates at last month's Legislative Forum on Opiate Addiction, State Representatives Dave Ritigliano, Brenda Kupchik, Laura Devlin, and Ben McGordy are putting ideas and concepts from these local advocates into bill proposal requests for the upcoming legislative session, which began on February 3rd. Additionally, first-term legislator from Monroe, State Rep. J.P. Sherdzinski, who is on the Public Safety and Security Committee, signed on to the opiate prevention proposals. Sherdzinski is a public safety 911 dispatch supervisor for the town of Stratford. States, including Connecticut, have increasingly seen the rapid growth of heroin use and the abuse of prescription painkillers, and are now mobilizing ways to stop the epidemic. Fairfield County has been designated as a high-intensity drug trafficking area by the U.S. government. Last month, at a community discussion on Connecticut's opiate addiction crisis, legislators committed to meet and develop legislative proposals based on what they heard. Some of those bill proposal requests they plan to submit include advocating drug education, health education courses in earlier grades in schools, requiring drug testing to be conducted prior to the refill of certain prescriptions, prohibiting doctors from prescribing an excessive amount of medication when it's not necessary, establishing a crime of murder by sale of an opioid-controlled substance to hold drug dealers liable for the sale of drugs that result in the death of a person who purchased the drugs from the dealer, as well as making Narcan available so all families can access it at pharmacies over the counter. There's a lot more at TrumbullTimes.com. And according to New Canaan Police Chief Leon Krolikowski, 2 forced entry burglaries were reported Wednesday, February 3rd between 12:30 and 1:30 in the afternoon in New Canaan. One occurred on Old Norwalk Road and the other on Butler Lane. Both residences had alarms set, and the houses were locked when the burglars entered. Because those alarms were set, the suspects had very little time to steal items from the home, according to the chief. But recently, there has been an increase in reported burglaries. According to Chief Krolikowski, most burglars are not master criminals. They're usually looking for an easy opportunity to get into the house without being seen. They love it when people make their job easier for them. So the chief offers some tips on how to keep your home protected, including being wary of unknown visitors. Always check the identity of visitors before admitting anyone into your home. Be a good neighbor by getting to know your neighbors so you can watch out for them and report suspicious activity in your neighborhood immediately, as well as not leaving clues around that you're away, like piled up mail outside or even some postings on social media. Krolikowski also says don't let burglars hide. Keep bushes and trees well trimmed away from the front of your home, especially near doors and windows along pathways. He also suggests using your alarm system if you have one, but you can get a lot more of those tips at ncadvertiser.com. The Darien Board of Selectmen has opted not to pursue body cameras for the officers of the Darien Police Department, declining a request for funding from Police Chief Dwayne Lavello. Body cameras have recently become part of a national discussion about race, police brutality, and alleged discriminatory enforcement practices as activists demand more accountability from police officers. As public pressure mounts, more law enforcement agencies across the country are considering adopting body camera programs. Chief Lovello recommended cameras to be purchased for all of the department's officers during the next fiscal year, but acknowledged that there would be significant costs in sustaining such a program. The costs Lovello spoke of were not in relation to purchasing the cameras themselves, but rather the long-term archiving of digital video footage. A bill passed by the Connecticut State Legislature last year includes new guidelines for departments using body cameras. Footage from cameras must be linked to the corresponding officers and incident reports and must be cataloged for future review if needed. Well, in Ridgefield, Deborah Ann's Sweet Shop on Main Street has embarked on a joint promotion with Lattice Imports, a Ridgefield company that imports palm ale. For Valentine's Day weekend, that combines Belgian chocolate with Belgian beer. Ridgefield resident David Van Wees, one of the founders of Lattice, asked Deborah Ann's to produce chocolates with the palm logo to be given out to customers ordering a palm ale over the Valentine's Day weekend. Deborah Ann's responded by ordering enough Calabout milk chocolate from Belgium to make 15,000 individual pieces. The chocolates were molded and wrapped by hand. An extra employee was hired and spent the month of December wrapping this and sealing each chocolate in cellophane. Before going ahead with this Valentine's Day promotion, Van Wees gave samples to representatives from the brewery in Belgium. He said they loved them. Ridgefielders who want to try the beer and chocolate may take advantage of the promotion at the Hideaway Tiger's Den, Sucre Sale, and Little Pub, where the price is $2 off a palm ale at most of those establishments. But we're going to throw it over to Rob now for a look at today's forecast. Rob?
All right, Kate. Hi, and good morning, everyone. We've got a chance of snow showers between right now and 4 this afternoon, but nothing to talk about in terms of accumulation. A partly sunny day otherwise with a high near 27. Wind chill values, however, between 10 and 15, and this will be a problem over the next several days. Tonight, mostly clear, low 10. Wind chill values between 0 and 5. I love pets also. Please do your best to keep an eye on them. The elderly also. This is a dangerous time temperature-wise. The wind out of the west from 6 to 15. To Friday, increasing clouds with a high near 25. Wind chills again between 0 and 10. Wind out of the southwest 5 to 8. Friday night, we've got a slight chance of snow showers before 1 in the morning, then a chance of snow after 1, and a cloudy night with a low near 13, but wind chills between 5 and 10. That slight chance of snow carries into Saturday before 9 in the morning. Then it'll become mostly sunny and cold with a high near 15, but again, blustery day, northwest wind, 16 to 20 miles per hour, gusts as high as 33. Saturday night, very dangerous, partly cloudy, and a low around 5 below. I know if you're watching in Bismarck, North Dakota, you're laughing and going, that's tropical. This is Connecticut. 5 below is fairly dangerous for us here. Sunny and cold for Sunday, and the high only near 14. Sunday night, we're only going to get to 5, and we've got a chance of snow after 3 on Monday, a partly sunny day with a high near 30. Best I can get you is back to Tuesday. Maybe we'll climb up into the 40s again, 42 for Wednesday. So we've got a little bit of a cold snap to deal with here. Fairfield has 26 degrees. Ridgefield, you're sitting at 22, and Shelton, 24 degrees, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Donald Dang takes a look back on this day in history. Rob has the latest in high school sports, and we have some more headlines coming up on your coffee break after this.
Had a sports injury that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist quickly. Their highly trained orthopedic professionals expertly treat you without an appointment. Skiing, snowboard, or sports accident, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk. Call 203-845-2070 or coastalorthoexpress.com. Find them on Facebook at Coastal Ortho CT.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional personal shoppers at Walter Stewart's are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewart's online at stewartsmarket.com.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network.
And we're back on this Thursday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski. It's time to throw it over to Donald Eng, who's going to take a look back on this day in history. Check it out.
Half a world away, while the country sleeps, a legend falls. But first to 1812, Massachusetts establishes electoral voting districts for Congress. Although Governor Elbridge Gerry was unhappy about the highly partisan districting, he signed the legislation anyway. The shape of one of the state Senate districts resembled a salamander, according to a local Federalist newspaper, leading them to print a political cartoon calling it a gerrymander. That is, on this day, the first use of the word gerrymandering. 1906, Pope Pius X publishes the encyclical Vehementer Nos. Occasioned by the French law of 1905 providing for the separation of church and state, Pius denounced the law as a unilateral break of the Concordat and declared the church to be the sole arbiter of right and wrong. To 2001 we go. Dutch programmer Jan de Wit writes and launches the Anna Kournikova virus, which infected millions of emails via a trick photo of the tennis star. You know the type. Hey, have you seen this photo of Anna? Don't ever click on that. The virus caused minimal damage, and DeWitt admitted to creating it, but denied intending to cause harm. He was sentenced to 150 hours of community service and a slight mention on the TV show Friends. And finally, now we go to 1990 for this.
It appears that Tyson is virtually a one-eyed fighter at this point.
A desperate one-eyed fighter. Brawling willingly just to try to get in the shot that will finish things in.
Oh, the uppercut.
What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's over. It's over.
Mike Tyson has been knocked out.
Unbelievable.
In one of the great upsets in sports history, 42-1 underdog Buster Douglas knocks out Mike Tyson in the 10th round in Tokyo to win the World Boxing's heavyweight title. Tyson's camp had been marked by dissension, and the trainers and assistants picked by him were so woefully unprepared for the fight that they had resorted to using a condom filled with ice water to try and reduce the swelling on Tyson's face. Though Mike would win other championships over the next 15 years, the mythical Iron Mike would never again be the same. That is your look back in history, and I am Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. It's now time to throw it over to Rob Adams for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Rob?
All right, Kate, we dive in with a whole bunch of scores from last night. We start in boys basketball, a win for the Greenwich Cardinals as they continue to roll along, not only toward the states. They're already in there, but they will get into the FCACs as well, at least they'd like to. A 76-47 win over Bridgeport Central. Bridgeport Central right now, this being boys basketball, amazingly, for many of us around here at the HAN Network, we remember it wasn't all that long ago, they won a state title in Class LL, our first state basketball championship game on the boys' side. Right now, they are winless on the season. Elsewhere, in girls basketball, it was Danbury over Trinity Catholic by 8, 40-32, and Stamford took care of Wilton, 57-28. On to boys ice hockey. NFI had 5 different scorers as New Fairfield Immaculate improves to 12-2 on the year. They beat Staples West and Shelton 5-2. The Wreckers had goals from Sam New and Billy Hutchison. They dropped to 9-6 on the year. NFI might be the team to watch over there in that division. Stanford West Hill over Fairfield 6-2. It was Trumbull shutting out Trinity Catholic 6-0. Also, New Canaan gets a 6-0 win over Norwalk McMahon as Harry Gelnoth scored twice and Chase Glover netted his first career goal. As we said, New Canaan over Norwalk 6-0 Wednesday night at the Darien Ice Rink. The Rams controlled the game throughout, scoring 3 times in the first, outshooting Norwalk by a 35-15 margin. New Canaan 5-2 in their last 7, stretched their win streak to 3, while improving to 7-9 overall, 5-4 in the FCIAC. Also, Darien over Wilton 4-0. In girls ice hockey, it was Darien over Trumbull 8-0 and Greenwich a 1-0 win over Stanford West Hill Staples. From wrestling, McMahon over Norwalk 40-39, and New Canaan dropped their wrestling finale on Wednesday night, but finished the regular season with a winning record of 10-8. The Ludlow Falcons, now 15-3, one of several FCIAC powerhouses, took 9 of the 14 weight classes to defeat the Rams 51-27. Also, West Hill over Stanford 42-28. From boys swimming and diving, Staples over Norwalk McMahon 109-76. Lastly, Alex Trezzacco has been named the head coach of the Danbury Hatters football team. Trezzacco was the interim coach in 2015 following the departure of Mark Ecke. The Hatters went 1-8 in the FCIAC last year. On to the schedule now. Tonight, Trumbull and Wilton get together in boys basketball and New Canaan at St. Joseph, while Ward is home for Ludlow. From girls basketball, Staples at Darien, Ludlow at Ward, Norwalk at Ridgefield, St. Joseph at Darien. Let's double back for a moment. Ludlow and Ward. That is over at Fairfield Ward High School tonight. We've got both games for you. Game 1 at 6, Game 2 scheduled, as I said, now for 7:45. We've got the doubleheader, a coaches versus cancer gathering over at Fairfield Ward High School. From boys ice hockey, it's Norwalk McMahon meeting Greenwich at 5:30, and Don Bosco is at Darien. So Don Bosco of New Jersey, good game. We'll keep an eye on that one. From girls ice hockey, Simsbury at Darien, New Canaan at Ludlow. From gymnastics, Wilton and Ludlow at New Milford. And from boys swimming and diving, Ludlow and Ward at West Hill Stanford. McMahon Norwalk is at Kennedy. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. We'll see you later for basketball doubleheader right here on the HAN Network, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, getting back to a little more of today's news, Governor Daniel Malloy announced that Shelton has been awarded an $875,000 grant to demolish an old building located at 223 Canal Street. James Ryan, the president of the Shelton Economic Development Corporation, said the grant puts the city in a better position to achieve its goal of redevelopment in downtown and more specifically the Canal Street area. The grants come under the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development's Brownfield Remediation Program. Under the latest round of allocations, a total of $7 million will go toward the cleanup and redevelopment of 5 former industrial sites, while $1.7 million will be put toward the assessment of 12 other sites around the state. There's more at sheltonherald.com. And in Milford, State Senator Gail Schlossberg submitted a letter to legislatures leading the General Assembly's Environment Committee requesting that the committee raise legislation that would impact projects similar to the build-out at Silver Sand State Park. The bill requested by Schlossberg would give members of the public the ability to request a new environmental impact evaluation if one has not been completed in the 5 years preceding the start of a new development. Milford city leaders and numerous local residents held meetings this past year calling for the state's Department of Energy and Environmental Protection to complete a new environmental impact evaluation at Silver Sands. But you can get a lot more on that at milfordmirror.com. We're going to step out for a break now. When we come back, John Kovach is going to join me, and we're going to take a look at our front pages this week. That's coming up next on your coffee break.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Find over 1,000 special stories at Hospital for Special Surgery. Go to hss.edu/backinthegame.
I was jogging 5 months after my cartilage tear.
Skiing a year after hip surgery.
And playing grandma 4 weeks after hip replacement.
One special hospital, 1,000 special stories. See Connecticut patients at hss.edu/CT.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
You are watching the HAN network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we're back on your coffee break on the HAN network. I'm Kate Czaplinski. It's Thursday, and I'm joined right now by our editorial director, John Kovach, to take a look at the front pages of our newspapers that are out today. John, welcome.
Hey, Kate.
How's it going?
Doing okay. We got through another Wednesday.
Yes.
Through another Wednesday, and
so what are you taking a look at, John?
right now, actually, I'm looking at, and I very seldom look at these, but in the Western Forum, there's what we call the line over masthead. Is generally a quote. And Albert Einstein making news with the confirmation this morning of the existence of gravitational ripples. You can't blame gravity for falling in love. That quote by Albert Einstein.
Love that.
Taking a look at the news in Weston, a proposed creation of an adult community district. A photo of somebody using a leaf blower to clear snow from town hall. You never hear complaints about leaf blowers when they're blowing snow.
No,
Interesting.
definitely not.
And the town budget proposal coming in at a 1.74% increase. Kate?
All right, well, I'm taking a look at the Trumbull Times, a story we talked about last week, which is the town clerk, Suzanne Burr Monaco, and her husband getting in a serious head-on collision. They both had to be extricated from the car, but amazingly are both expected to recover. Happy to hear that, but it was a serious accident. No charges have been filed yet in that. Another tragic story, the driver was charged with killing an elderly couple in Trumbull. This was a man, he was a native of the United Kingdom. He moved over here, was accidentally driving on the wrong side of the road, and killed Alan and Virginia Finkenauer. Very tragic story there. But some happier news. Jane Ryan kindergartners creating a classroom newspaper, keeping print alive for another generation. That's what we like to hear.
Anything we can do to keep print going at least a little longer is okay with us.
What's up next, John?
Well, Kate, I'm taking a look at the Easton Courier and another traffic accident there. A very severe one, a 7-car pileup blamed on the weather. That on the upper reaches of Black Rock Turnpike in Easton, not far from the Fairfield line. A Fairfield police officer involved, but some other scenic shots, including a couple of beagles playing in the snow there in Easton. The Center for Family Justice is looking for volunteers.
Great organization.
Yeah. We've had them on a number of times. They are set to open that one facility that we've talked to them about on April 5th. They need some volunteers for that. And a split vote on a finance board appointment there in Easton.
Right. All right, well, I'm taking a look at the Milford Mirror this week. Another story we've talked about on Coffee Break, parents appealing the closing of St. Gabriel's Elementary School in Milford. Big story there. In fact, there was a local homeless shelter interested in buying a portion of the land the school sits on, which many parents are saying could have saved the school from closing. So, for updates on that, follow Milford Mirror for sure, as well as a great pic of some of the flooding down at the shoreline in Milford as this crazy weather has hit. And a musician who wrote a song about Silver Sands Beach, Eric Herbst of Dizzyfish, stands near the shoreline, the inspiration for his song Silver Sands. Very nice.
Taking a look in Shelton, we had grocery news last week in Lewisboro, and now word that Big Y could be moving to the former Crabtree site, the old car dealership, that on Bridgeport Avenue in Shelton, not far from where we are. A feature about a Shelton student who visited Nicaragua to teach English to the children there, and a $1.6 million proposed increase for the Shelton school budget. If you remember, the last superintendent there resigned amid the debate last budget season.
Right, saying it's been difficult. It's been a difficult road for the Board of Ed in Shelton. Well, taking a look at the front page of the Stratford Star, an interesting story by Melvin Mason. Stratford High students being encouraged to open up to their peers, kind of talking about, expressing themselves more. That's coming from the Sandy Hook Promise, speaking with Stratford High School students recently on Monday. It could help those feeling isolated, they say. And rumored threats to Stratford schools being investigated. We heard a little bit about that. These threats popping up on social media. Police said they had no merit, but there was an increased presence at Stratford schools this week. And you got to wonder if this guy in the photo was showing off a little winter wheelie on the front page of the Stratford Star on his bike. I wonder if he saw Melvin standing there with a camera.
Well, it's that or it handles that much better on one wheel, and I'm not sure that's ever the case.
All right, what's
Who
next,
knows? Taking a look at the Reading Pilot, where if you're a taxpayer, you've got to like the number of zeros on this front page, because the Board of Ed's recommending a 0% increase. That is down from the 1.25% proposed by the superintendent of schools, and the Board of Selectmen requesting a budget increase at less than 0.5%. Story about a place that is providing recording space for young musicians that is very difficult to find studio time. So it could be very encouraging to young artists to have this as a destination. And a story you talked about here, and that the state's attorney's opinion that open carry is legal in Connecticut.
All right, John. Well, I'm taking a look at the front page of the Ridgefield Press this week. 5 houses and a new look planned for a Main Street corner in Ridgefield. So interesting story there on potential development, as well as a nice feature on Allison Stockel, who is the director of the Ridgefield Playhouse. She does a lot in the community, so interesting story there. And down at the bottom, a local dog in Ridgefield getting her own month of the year. She's a calendar girl. She's been named Miss February. She'll be in a calendar that's raising money for the Connecticut Humane Society.
Good cause.
Very exciting there.
Well, while we're looking at dogs, let's take a look at Waveney Park in New Canaan, where Bella the dog was helping Lily and Oliver Gray build a snowman Friday morning. Great photo by Brian Hafley there. Story about the Hub. Now, this was the teen center behind Town Hall that's now becoming a building that will find a use. There were questions about the teen center's ability to support itself. Now, Human Services wants to support whatever tenant comes in there, but not the costs of the building itself. So this is a debate that kind of came up before they built this, and this is now almost 20 years ago, and now it's come full circle. Very interesting.
Very interesting. Well, I'm taking a look at the Wilton Bulletin. Town budget, it's the season, and according to Hayden Turek, legal costs in that budget exceeded expectations. For fiscal year 2016, there was a budget of $188,000 to cover legal costs, but much of that had already been expended by January. So some concerns there, obviously battling some legal issues, as well as students giving a tour of King Tut's tomb, which includes a replica mummy made 10 years ago by former Middlebrook student Ted Rigel. So very cool there. And of course, Wilton's legislators saying that the state budget and transportation are at the forefront of the 2016 legislative session.
All right, well, you steered us away from the dog pictures, so I'll try to get us back on the right track here and go to the Darien Times. Great shot by Laureen Valenti of Elliot, who's playing in the snow. Just a gorgeous, appears to be a tricolor there. And in news that will probably send everybody sprinting from the studio, Shake Shack applying for a location in Darien. Also, the selectmen declining a request for body cameras for police, and the Board of Education approving a budget increase of 3.5% over last year.
All right, taking a look at the Monroe Courier. First Selectman Steve Vavrick seeking a 1.69% budget hike. I'm sure that'll change as the budget process goes forward in Monroe, but that's where we're at right now. And of course, great photos of some folks taking the plunge. You gotta love that, jumping into some icy water. Very nice.
You love jumping into icy water?
No, I would try it. I would do the polar bear plunge, maybe. I'd think about it.
I would do it.
I would do it.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want cameras there. I wouldn't want to be a photograph on the front page.
That's true.
But then again, we did do the ice bucket challenge.
That's true.
Lastly, looking at the Lewisboro Ledger, and Bernard Gersten of Lewisboro has been inducted into the inaugural Lincoln Center Founding Legends Hall of Fame. So a big honor there for a Lewisboro resident. Student spotlight focusing on Julia Sclaren, whose drawings are in an exhibit at the Katona Museum of Art, and a feature on legal services available in South Salem. That in the Lewisboro Ledger.
All right, John, well, thanks so much for joining me to look at the front pages today.
Anytime. Any Thursday, I'm on call.
Now, John, tell us quickly what's coming up on Yankee Fisherman today at 1.
We are going to talk to 2 tackle makers who I met at the Connecticut Surfcasters Demo Day. And we've got some film from a Super Sunday outing up to the Farmington. We'll find out just how good my balance is.
All right. And at 2 o'clock, of course, HAN Arts and Leisure. But stay tuned. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we have some Valentine's Day suggestions for you, some date night and gift ideas coming up on your coffee break after this.
Had a sports injury that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist quickly. Their highly trained orthopedic professionals expertly treat you without an appointment. Skiing, snowboard, or sports accident, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk. Call 203-845-2070 or coastalorthoexpress.com. Find them on Facebook at Coastal Ortho CT.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional personal shoppers at Walter Stewart's are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewart's online at stewartsmarket.com.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network. Hi, I'm
In
Rob.
case you haven't been paying attention, Valentine's Day is this Sunday, and the HAN Network is here to help with a few suggestions for those looking for a romantic outing or gift ideas. Starting with a few date night or date day suggestions, like Lethos in Darien. Lethos offers authentic Mediterranean cuisine and has a special Valentine's Day menu for just $49 per person. You can enjoy a 4-course meal, including traditional Greek specialties. Choose from a decadent and unique menu created especially for the holiday. Also on Sunday, live jazz will be playing from 6 to 9. Lethos is located at 319 Post Road in Darien. You can reach them at 203-202-7777. And Panificio Navona in Bethel. If you're craving fresh, sweet treats and a cup of coffee, Panificio Navona of Bethel, where the motto is baking from scratch with care and kindness, is offering special treats for Valentine's Day. Open from 8 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon on Sunday. The bakery is located in Bethel's Clark Industrial Building and serves up handmade breads, scones, biscotti, and more in a fun, eclectic cafe setting. Find out more at panificionavona.com. O Bar in Trumbull is another great spot. O Bar and Grill is offering a special Valentine's Day menu Friday through Sunday. You can choose from entrees like king cut prime rib or almond crusted rack of lamb. Check out obarandgrill.com for more. And Hunan Pan in Shelton. If you're looking for traditional Japanese and authentic Chinese cuisine for your date night, check out Hunan Pan. Tucked away at 303 Old Bridgeport Avenue in Shelton, there is a wide selection of cocktails and food. You can find out more about them at hunanpanct.com. Another great option, the Stone Barn in Monroe. If you want to enjoy a lovely brunch with your Valentine, the Stone Barn at the Whitney Farms Golf Course is ideal. Brunch with mimosas included will go from 11 to 3 on Sunday at $27.95 a person. Call 203-268-4612 for details. And Twisted Vine in Derby, a family-owned restaurant that has been called the most romantic spot in Derby, is another great choice for a date night. Located in a beautiful historic bank building on Main Street, Twisted Vine is offering entertainment all weekend in its lounge, also known as the Birmingham Cellars. Reservations for the main restaurant and the lounge are now available. Visit twistedvinerestaurant.com for more. Roberto's in Monroe. If you're in the Monroe area, check out Roberto's on Main Street, named one of the best Italian restaurants in Connecticut. On Sunday, Roberto's has a Valentine's Day offering featuring an extensive a la carte specialty menu from 12 to 9. More information at robertosmonroe.com. Old Town Restaurant in Trumbull, where you can spend your Valentine's Day enjoying mouth-watering Italian fare with an American twist. Old Town is located at 60 Quality Street. Call 203-261-9436 for more information. And now, when it comes to gift giving, there's of course Craig's Fine Jewelry in Ridgefield, because nothing says Valentine's Day quite like diamonds. Craig's Fine Jewelry on historic Main Street in Ridgefield has one-of-a-kind choices from an array of designers with an emphasis on customer service in an intimate location. Visit craigsfinejewelry.com for more. And of course, Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan, where you can find everything you need to indulge your Valentine, including candles, flowers, sweet treats, wine, and excellent prepared foods. You can even find some ideas at walterstewartsmarket.com or visit them on Elm Street in New Canaan. But those are just a few of our selections and ideas for the holiday. I'm Kate Czaplinski for the HAN Network, wishing everyone a happy Valentine's Day.